The winter sun over Portland never warmed anything, least of all the life of Amelia Hart, a 24-year-old woman who had spent years believing that stability was something she could build if she just worked hard enough. She lived in a tiny third-floor apartment with creaky wooden floors, mismatched furniture, and a kitchen window that overlooked a gray alleyway. It wasn't glamorous, but it was hers. It was real. And for years, she'd thought her relationship with Noah Rivers was real too. Noah had been the kind of man who smiled like he already knew he'd get what he wanted. Tall, golden-haired, with an easy charm that made strangers soften, and lies that slid off his tongue like silk. Amelia had fallen for him the way a matchstick falls into gasoline. Suddenly, dangerously, completely. On a cold Thursday morning, she came home early from her shift at Riverside Cafe. She'd intended to surprise him with his favorite blueberry muffins. She'd imagined him kissing her forehead, laughing, telling her she worked too hard. Instead, the moment she opened the apartment door, she heard the sound that cracked her open from the inside out. Soft laughter. A woman's laughter. At first she believed, desperately, that she was mistaken. Maybe the TV was on. Maybe Noah was watching something. Maybe anything but what it really was. But when she stepped into the living room, she saw Noah on the couch, leaning back with a woman perched on his lap. A woman with glossy black hair, long legs, and the kind of confidence that looked expensive. Her red lipstick smeared on Noah's jaw. The muffin box slipped from Amelia's hand and hit the floor. The woman barely flinched. Noah jumped up as if he'd been burned. Amelia, wait, it's not. It's exactly what it looks like, the woman interrupted, smirking. Amelia could feel the floor shifting under her feet, but somehow her voice stayed steady. How long? Noah swallowed. 6 months. 6 months. Half a year. Half a year of lies, excuses, late-night phone calls he said were work emergencies, days he claimed he was too tired, too stressed, too overwhelmed to spend time with her. Half a year of her blaming herself. Something inside her went quiet. So quiet, it felt like death. She walked out without a word. By the time she reached the street, the winter air hit her lungs so sharply she doubled over. The truth didn't just hurt. It hollowed her. That night she slept on the floor of her best friend Leah's apartment, wrapped in an old blanket that smelled like vanilla detergent. She didn't cry loudly. She didn't curse. She didn't scream. She just stared at the ceiling, replaying every moment of the last 3 years with Noah. Somewhere around dawn, she whispered, "Why wasn't I enough?" Leah reached over and squeezed her hand. "You were. He wasn't." But the words didn't feel true. Not yet. Not then. Heartbreak did something strange to Amelia. It didn't destroy her. It sharpened her. It made her look at herself, not with softness, but with a kind of brutal honesty she'd never allowed before. Within 2 weeks, she'd moved into a new apartment, smaller but brighter, with sunlight that actually touched the walls. She enrolled in night classes for digital marketing at the community college. She took extra shifts at the cafe. She jogged every morning, not because she loved running, but because she needed to feel like her body still belonged to her. Leah once told her, "This feels like your villain origin story." But it didn't. It felt like her rebirth. Across town, Noah didn't disappear. He texted. He called. He showed up outside the cafe twice. He left apology letters. He said he'd made a mistake. He said he missed her. He said the other woman, Talia, was nothing. Amelia ignored every message. One evening after class, as she walked toward the bus stop, she saw Noah leaning against the streetlight, his hands shoved deep in his pockets. "Amelia, please," he said. "Just hear me out." She didn't want to, but closure had a strange way of demanding to be taken seriously. 5 minutes, she said. He stepped closer. "I screwed up. You're the best thing that ever happened to me. Talia, she was..." I don't know. A distraction. I ended it. I want you back. I'll do anything. Once, those words would have melted her. Now they just sounded like recycled promises. Noah, she said quietly, I loved you. I trusted you. And you broke me. I'm not coming back. He flinched like she'd hit him. You can't just erase everything we had. I'm not erasing it, she said. I'm just done letting it control me. And she walked away. That night she cried, not out of sadness, but out of relief. The kind of relief that comes when you finally know you deserve better. Days turned into weeks. Her confidence grew. Her skills sharpened. She started doing freelance social media work for small businesses, designing ads, creating brand layouts, and her income slowly doubled. For the first time in a long time, she felt strong. But fate wasn't done twisting. One afternoon in March, while working on a cafe marketing project, Amelia got an email from a local charity event organizer asking her to create digital content for their annual fundraiser, a big one. The kind of opportunity that could launch her career. She said yes immediately. The night of the event, she walked into the Pearl District Hotel ballroom wearing a simple black dress, her hair in soft waves. She wasn't trying to impress anyone. She just wanted to feel like the woman she was becoming. And she did. The surprise came when the event director introduced her to the man funding the entire project, Ethan Cole. Tall, dark-haired, impeccably dressed, CEO of one of Portland's biggest tech firms. He was everything Noah wasn't: calm, respectful, steady. His handshake was warm, and his gaze was focused on her in a way that made her heartbeat shift. Your portfolio is impressive, he said. You've got sharp instincts. No one had ever used the word impressive about her work before. Definitely not Noah. As they worked together that evening, Ethan listened to her ideas, asked for her opinion, and treated her like her thoughts mattered. The way he smiled when she explained strategies made her cheeks warm, but she reminded herself, do not fall again. Not so easily. Still, something about Ethan made her feel seen, not the broken version of herself, but the version she was building. When the event ended, he walked her outside. I'd like to work with you again, he said. Maybe grab coffee sometime, only if you're comfortable. Amelia hesitated. Then she nodded. Coffee sounds nice. And it did. Over the next few weeks, coffee turned into conversations into comfort, and comfort into something she hadn't felt in a long time. Peace. Ethan wasn't perfect, but he was consistent. He remembered small things she mentioned in passing. He sent her playlists on stressful days. He didn't rush her, didn't push her, didn't demand more than she could give. He once told her, you don't have to be strong all the time, Amelia. You're allowed to just be. It was such a simple sentence, yet it loosened knots inside her she didn't know were there. Their connection grew naturally, slowly, honestly. But life had one more twist. One evening, while Amelia and Ethan were leaving a new downtown restaurant, Noah stepped out from behind a parked car. His hair was messy, his voice unsteady, and his eyes red. So this is why you won't take me back? He spat. You found a replacement. Ethan stepped forward calmly. Back off. But Amelia touched Ethan's arm. Let me handle this. She looked Noah in the eyes and didn't feel heartbreak, didn't feel longing, didn't feel anger. She felt nothing. Noah, she said softly, I didn't move on because of Ethan. I moved on because you stopped deserving me. He blinked, stunned. I loved you, she continued, but I love myself more now. That's something you never learned. Noah's expression twisted, pain, regret, disbelief. But none of it was her responsibility anymore. He walked away, and Amelia felt free. In the weeks that followed, her freelance business exploded. Ethan introduced her to brands that hired her at triple her old rates. She moved into a sunny loft overlooking the river. She filled it with plants, warm lights, and framed prints of her favorite quotes. Her life began to feel like something she'd chosen, not something she'd fallen into. On a quiet Sunday morning, Amelia sat on her balcony, drinking iced coffee while Ethan read beside her. The wind was gentle, the world felt soft. "Do you ever think about how far you've come?" Ethan asked. She smiled. "Every day." Because she had learned something vital. You don't heal by going back to what broke you. You heal by becoming someone they never thought you could be. Amelia Hart wasn't the girl who walked in on betrayal anymore. She was the woman who walked into her future, stronger, wiser, loved, and finally whole.